Assalamu alaikum dear students. Hope all of you will be fine. Today we are here to discuss chapter number 8 of 7th class. In previous lecture you have discussed about the methods of the heat transfer, in which you have discussed the first method, that is conduction, in detail. As you know that the heat is transferred due to the collisions of the molecule between the particles of the solid in the conduction process. Now here we are going to discuss the second method of the heat transfer, that is convection. In this method we should know that convection is the transfer of heat energy due to the actual movement of the molecules. It means in this process molecules of the matter can move from one place to the other place easily. The definition of the convection is, it is the transfer of heat in which molecule move towards the source of heat to absorb heat and then move away. Again I am repeating the definition, that the transfer of heat energy in which molecules move towards the heat source to absorb heat and then move away. From the definition it is clear that in this process molecules are having spaces due to which they can move easily from one place to the other place. Therefore we can say that the process of convection is possible only in liquid and gases, because both of these are having larger spaces among the molecules, and molecules are able to move from one place to the other place. Here we can take an example of boiling liquid, in which you can observe that the red color particles are the molecules of the water which get heat from the fire, and they will move towards the upward direction after getting heat. And blue color are showing the cold molecules which are coming from top to the bottom to fill the spaces of these molecules which leaves the area. Here this picture shows a convection in which molecules become lighter in weight after getting energy and move towards the upward direction. Colder molecules are heavy in weight and they will move towards the downward direction. So this upward and downward movement of the molecule will be continue in liquid and gases until the complete water pot get heat. The molecule which the liquid which is present inside that water pot will heat up due to the process of convection. As we know that the molecules can move upward and downward, and the cold molecule will come towards the heat source and then they will move to the upward side. So we can say that this upward and downward movement of the molecule of water or air is called as convection current. What is that? The upward and downward movement of water and air molecules. In this picture you can clearly observe the blue color arrows are showing the colder molecule and red color show the hotter molecule, and this process will continue until the complete liquid will get hot. So this is the main reason in which this is the main process called as convection current, which is responsible for the movement of the molecules in liquid and gases. Now this is the basic process, and here we can discuss this convection current with the reference of daily life examples. So here we can discuss everyday applications of convection current which is happening in our surroundings. First one is household ventilations. If you can observe your kitchen, you can notice that an exhaust is placed on the top of the wall, which is used to expel the hot air out of the kitchen when you are using the stoves. Here you can observe this convection current in this way, that when the fire is burning it will heat up the air molecules that are present in the surrounding. After getting heat, these molecules will move to the upward direction, and to fill the spaces of these molecules, cold molecules of air come into the room from the windows and doors. So this process of upward and downward movement of the molecule can be continued. The second example is domestic water heater or geyser. Here you can also observe that cool water is entered into the top of the geyser from your water tank, and this cold water will move towards the bottom of the geyser where the burner is on. From here the water molecule again get hot and they will move towards the upward direction, and from where it will be supplied to the other part of the house where it is needed. So again here you can observe the upward and downward movement of the molecules which is occurred due to the convection current. The other example is air conditioner. Here is also the same process of convection current occurs, in which what happens, cool air is getting entered into the room from the AC, and hot air from the top of the room can be expelled, can be taken by the AC and expelled out of the room. So in this way, this process of getting cold air getting in and hot air is going on, is carrying on, and this upward and downward movement of molecule will continue until the complete room will be cool in summer. The other example is refrigerator, in which also the process of convection current occurs. You know that the more cooler part, that is freezer, is present on the top of the fridge, and if you look at the behind of this fridge, you can observe the different pipes that are present. What happened here, the air that is present in the compressor will get hot from the bottom and it will move towards the upper side, from where it will get cool, and this cool air again come down to make the lower part also cool. So this upward and downward movement of the gas molecule will continue to make the whole part of the fridge cool. So here we can again observe that this convection current is very important for the cooling of the materials. The other one is hot air balloons. Here you can also observe that the cool air from the fire air molecules get heat and they will move towards the upper direction, and the cooler molecule of the air that are present in the surrounding, they will again come to fill the air near to the fire. This upward and downward movement of the molecule will allow the hot air balloon to move upward direction. So these are the journal examples in which you can observe the process of convection current that helps to keep the environment, helps to keep the material cool in the summer or in daily life. Now this process of convection current is also occurring in our environment in the form of wind currents and ocean current. The same process is carrying on, that heat of the sun will heat up the molecule of the air, and what happened, this hotter molecule will move towards the upward direction, and the cooler molecule from the nearby side, they will come again to fill the spaces of that area. So in this way, this upward and downward movement of the air molecule will continue, which is called as wind currents. So here we can also take a look that if we are observing the surrounding, then we can observe that some birds can fly at heights without flapping their wings, and this is possible due to the wind currents. As the hot air move to the upward direction, and it will expand in the air, and what will happen, the birds can fly at heights without flapping their wings due to the presence of these hot air molecules, because they can easily float on these hot air molecules and they can't flap. They can save their energies by without flapping their wings. So this is the complete process of convection current. For more detail, we can observe the following video.
Convection, on the other hand, occurs mainly in fluids. And remember, fluids can refer to anything that can flow, so both liquids and gases. Because the particles in fluids aren't fixed, once they're heated and they gain kinetic energy, they all move around faster. By the process of random diffusion, this will cause these more energetic particles to move away from the warmer region towards the cooler region. And overall, this means that the higher energy particles in the warmer region are a lot more spread out than those in the cooler region. So effectively, the fluid in the warmer region actually expands as it heats up, and so becomes less dense than the cooler fluid. To understand how this works in real life, let's imagine that we had a container of fluid, so that could be either liquid or gas. As we heat the container, the following things would happen. First, the particles near the heat source would gain kinetic energy and spread out, becoming less dense. Because they're less dense, these particles rise above the colder, less dense particles above them. And at the same time, these cooler particles sink down and take their place. Whilst this is happening though, the hot particles would lose their energy and cool down, and the cool particles now at the bottom would heat up. Because of this, the cycle would keep on repeating for as long as the fluid was being heated, and we call this cycle a convection current. We actually see these convection currents all over the place, from oceans to inside buildings, where radiators warm the nearby air and set off the cycle. On the other hand, to reduce convection, we need to stop the free flow of fluids, which is all we're doing when we sleep under a blanket at night, which is stopping the warm air from escaping. What conduction and convection have in common is that they both involve particles gaining kinetic energy. It's just that in conduction, only the energy is transferred between the different particles, whereas in convection, the particles themselves move.
Welcome to the Radiant Secondary School. How are you, students? I hope you will be fine. It's the class 7 and the subject is science. Students, recall your previous lecture in which we will discuss about the ways of transmission of heat. The first method that we discuss is the conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat energy without the actual movement of particles. Then we discuss about the convection. Convection is the transfer of heat energy with the movement of the particles. Now, today we will discuss about the radiation. Now, what is the radiation? The radiation is the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body directly without heating the space between the two bodies. Transfer of heat energy from a hot body that is having the higher temperature to the cold body that is having the lower temperature. So this energy transfer is due to the difference in the temperature directly without heating the space between the two bodies. So radiation is the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body directly without heating the space between the two bodies. In this mode of transmission of heat, we require donut medium for the transmission of heat. Then we will discuss how radiation is important in our daily life. It is very important in our daily life. For example, we get solar energy from the sun with the help of the radiation. Sun is the hot body and earth is the cold body, and this is the space between the two bodies in which there is no material medium. So solar energy is transferred from a hot body to a cold body with the help of the radiation without heating the space between the two bodies. Similarly, in winter, when we sit in front of heater, we get warm. How we get warm, students? We get warm with the help of the radiation. Everything in the universe, students, radiate means release, emits or absorb the heat energy. The amount will be maybe different, but they radiate and absorb heat energy at the same time. For example, when we use the computer for a long time, then it's absorb the energy and then release its heat energy in the form of the radiation. Similarly, when the light bulb absorb the light energy, then it also release the heat energy in the form of the radiation. The absorption and release of the heat energy depends on two things. First one is the color of the object. The object that is having the dark color absorb the more heat energy. Similarly, the objects it's also depend on the surface of the object. The object that is having the dull and rough surface absorb the more energy. Similarly, the objects that are in light colors, they reflect the light and absorb less light. Similarly, the objects that have the smooth and shiny surface also emit less radiation and also absorb the less. Here we will discuss about the good radiator and good absorber of heat. Good radiator and good absorber of a heat are the objects or the material that radiate and absorb more heat energy. Good radiator are also the good absorber, and good absorber also the good radiator. They radiate and absorb more heat energy. For example, black surfaces and dull surfaces are the good radiator and good absorber of the heat energy. They absorb more heat energy and also radiate the more heat energy. Then students, we will discuss about the bad radiator and bad absorber. Bad absorber are also the bad radiator. Bad absorber and bad radiator are the objects that radiate and absorb less or no heat energy. For example, students, smooth and shiny surfaces are bad radiator and bad absorber of the heat energy. You people observe this phenomena with the help of a simple experiment that you people perform in your home. For example, you people take two cans. First one is the black and second one is the silver in color, that is having the smooth and shiny surface. Then you people take water in both can. After some time, you people observe that the water in the black can is more warm than the smooth shiny surface can. Why? Because black surface can is and rough surface can is absorb more radiation and also emit more radiation, so it having the more warm water. Now we will discuss about the practical application of the radiation, how it is important in our daily life. It is very important in our daily life. I already told you that every object absorb and radiate the heat energy. Similarly, we use the refrigerator in our home. The back of our refrigerator is having the black in color and it is having the rough surface. These are the cooling fins that are present at the back of our refrigerator. These cooling fins have the rough and black surface. The purpose of these cooling fins is that they radiate the heat quickly into the surrounding. What's the purpose of these radiation of heat? This radiation of heat produce the cooling effect. Similarly, another example of the radiation is that we wear the light color or white color cloth in the summer. What's the purpose of wearing of these light colors? The purpose of these light color are that because light color are the good reflector of light and they absorb less or no heat, due to which we do not get warm and we feel the cooling effect. At the end, the last example is the greenhouse. Greenhouse is the practical application of radiation in cold areas that is used for the better growth of the plant. Greenhouse is made up of glass or plastic. Glass and plastic are the insulator that absorb the heat energy. These glass and plastic get the radiation from the sun and warm the soil and the plants. These soil and plants absorb the radiations and then absorb the heat energy and then emits this heat energy in the form of radiation, due to which the temperature inside of the greenhouse increase. This increase of temperature is very helpful for the growth of the plant. Now at the end we will summarize the whole topic again. At the end I will summarize the whole lecture. Radiation is the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body directly without heating the space between the two bodies. Similarly, we get when we sit in front of fire, we also get heat energy from this fire with the help of the radiations. Sun is the ultimate source of heat energy. We get warm by the sun. We get heat energy from the sun with the help of the radiation. Every object radiates its heat. The amount of heat radiated by a hot body depends upon its color and surface. The objects that have the dull and black surface are the good absorber and good radiator of the heat. The objects that have the shiny and the smooth surface are the bad absorber and bad radiator of the heat. Thank you so much, students.